Man, it is such interesting times in the info space, the coaching, consulting space, whatever you want to call this, digital product space. Times really are changing. And it's like fascinating to watch. I've been in this space for almost 10 years. The main thing I want to talk to you guys about here today is I basically want to address this idea of like the 80-20 for your info business. Okay. What is like the lazy model that you can just focus on? And if you can do that, like most other things kind of fall into place. Now, I know a lot of times I prepare like super nice iPad presentations and I get my thoughts down and then I get my design team to put it all together and this and that. Like none of that today. As I said, I was literally just speaking with someone inside 8FL and I just wanted to get this video out. So can you guys actually leave me a comment down below? Like what format do you prefer? I've done a couple of these off the cuff. I think I did one in the car, one on the plane. Like, do you prefer these kind of videos or do you prefer my sort of iPad presentation videos? Like what format do you prefer? Just let me know on this channel. But anyways, the point that I'm really trying to get across here is there's different benchmarks that you can take your info business up. Don't take this in any derogatory way. There's the people making 10 to 20K a month as sort of like solo infopreneurs and they're killing it, like those solo creators. Then the people between like 20 to 100, even 150K a month. It's kind of like the middle class of our info industry. And it's not like in any rude way. If you're in the steel manufacturing business, the middle class could be like, whatever, $10 million a month in output. So every industry, the middle class looks slightly different. And what I was speaking to this gentleman about is that like, if you want to get to like that 200 to 400K a month mark in profit, by the way, I'm not talking revenue, in profit, and you want to do it in the most like lazy 80-20 way possible, there's really one part of the business that I think is the most important to knuckle down, because without this, all the fancy funnels and this and that, they just simply won't work. Now, if you want to get to $1 million a month or $2 million a month, like that's a different story. And listen, I can help you get there, but that's not really the point of this video. The point of this video is to discuss what's that one thing that you can do that really just makes your entire info business 10 times easier. And that thing is spending time, really like sitting down, writing, speaking to AI, letting it be a soundboard to you, speaking to even people outside of your industry. One of the best things that you can do is explain your info offer to your friend's parents. Go explain your info offer to your Uber driver. Go explain your info offer to someone who doesn't understand. And you have to keep reiterating it and keep explaining it until it clicks, until they get it. And what you are doing there is you're refining your unique mechanism. And I truly believe that if you want to get to that 200 to 400K a month mark, as I said, getting to $1 million a month plus, it's takes far more than this. That's a much different beast, and we can talk about that in some other video. Getting to that 2 to 400K a month mark is all about finding your unique mechanism and owning it. Because look around you, the info market is noisy, it's crowded. Everyone is screaming from the rooftop about my ecom coaching offer, or my trading coaching offer, or my Amazon FBA course, or my yada yada whatever course. And now more than ever, you need a unique mechanism. You need something to slice through the noise. And listen, it's unfortunate. It's the way the world works. Sometimes you just kind of have to put lipstick on something that you don't want to put lipstick on. And what I mean by that is spice it up, spruce it up a little. In the same way before you go see a movie, they prepare a trailer. Same thing. What am I recording on right now? I'm recording on my iPhone. I get many people tell me, oh, but as marketers, you're selling the ideal situation. And I'm like, yeah, okay, but let's look at the most valuable company on earth, Apple. Every year they have a keynote and they present their new iPhone, this iPhone 16, I think it is now. They tell me like the new processing power, and it's like under the perfect conditions, the right temperature, all this stuff. They have to find a way to put a bit of lipstick on their new product. Okay, so even the most valuable company in the world on earth does it. You think you don't need to do it? Sometimes I see the level of effort that people put out and they're like, yeah, I'm launching my one-on-one mentorship, or I'm launching my coaching program. It's like, is that really the best that you can do? Like really, is that the best that you can do? Could you not spend 30 minutes, an hour, even a couple hours? This could literally mean millions of extra dollars in your pocket in the next year, 2 years, 3 years, by just sitting down and thinking about this. So what you want to do is you want to have your unique mechanism. This is your proprietary process. Proprietary, okay? Now anything can be proprietary. It's your insight, it's your secret, it's your unique mechanism that cuts through the noise of this crowded market. This is why our clients win. Differentiator. Just remember, you are not selling coaching, you're not selling information. You are selling a better, faster process to their dream situation. You are selling your unique mechanism. And it should be a mechanism that you make clear to the market that only you possess. Now, what are some examples of those unique mechanisms? Let's take a look at in the fitness niche. Back in the day, we had Kino Body, and he was all about intermittent fasting, and that was his unique mechanism, or at least one of his many unique mechanisms. But that was a way that he was able to cut through the noise of the market. Now, let's take a look at my old industry, the agency space. Inside of agencies or SMMA, there were sub-markets. Now, obviously for me, when you're trying to hit multi-million-dollar months, I had to do things differently, but let's take a look at the people who are making 200 to 400K months. When you're trying to do the lazy 80-20 model of info, and you're just trying to hit 200 to 400K months in profit, then what you want is you want a unique mechanism underneath the niche. So I guess you could say SMMA is a unique mechanism to making money online. But then inside of SMMA, underneath that, what do you have? You have guys selling growth operator. You have guys selling info product growth operator. You have people selling brand scaling. You have people selling influencer marketing agency, IMAs. And listen, shout out to all those people. That's amazing that you can kind of own and corner a section of the market. What's even better is when you can own a word. You can own a concept. You can become a category of one. And that is what these people have done. You know, if we once again take a look at, okay, people want the outcome of starting to make money with online freedom. Okay, cool. That is the outcome. Then beneath that, let's say for me, I was the unique mechanism of SMA. And then beneath that, what these people did, which is great, kudos to these people. That's how you get the most bang for buck in terms of your effort to reward in the info space. They own these words. So whether that's freelance brand scaling or info product growth agency, IPGA, these are all subsections. And what these people did is they own these words and they became categories of one. So that is what you need to do in your space, okay? Whatever industry you're in, whatever you sell, you need to find your unique mechanism as long as it doesn't cap you. Now, as I said, where you're trying to hit $1 million, multi-million-dollar months, well then yeah, maybe you need to broaden out your unique mechanism because by the way, your unique mechanism at times can also cause limiting beliefs. And this is the next thing that I really want to talk about and was on my mind is that your offer isn't gonna fly off the shelf just because it's persuasive. Yeah, that's great that it's persuasive, but the offer in of itself needs to preemptively neutralize limiting beliefs. So let me explain what I mean by this. Now, I know a lot of times we're thinking, okay, how do we sell this? How do we make this more attractive to buy? But let's reverse engineer that and ask ourselves, why would someone not buy this? What are the limiting beliefs that I'm causing? And I see this all the time. I see a lot of times people will go down one avenue to try to sell their product, not realizing that they're causing limiting beliefs on the other side of it. So you kind of like unlocked one door, but you locked another door in the same process. So once you have your unique mechanism, there's gonna be limiting beliefs around that unique mechanism. I'll give you an example. When we were selling our agency offer, and by the way, this is why these things are so important. This is a really big unlock for me in terms of helping people get across that mental barrier to actually get started with an agency. Under my unique mechanism of SMMA, one of the limiting beliefs that will get caused is like, yeah, but I don't know how to deliver the service. And that is where we preempted it by talking about the concept of contractor arbitrage. Now I could have just said, oh, you hire a contractor, but that doesn't put me into category of one. Now all of a sudden I've taken away the spice, I've taken away the flavor, I've taken away the magic around what it is that I sell and my unique mechanism within my offer. Man, this goes so many layers deep. You have how your product is a unique mechanism within the market, but then you have things within your offer that are also unique mechanisms. So for me, my unique mechanism within my agency offer was contractor arbitrage. Now, once again, I could have just said, oh, hire a contractor, but we're taking the flavor out. And as I said, Apple has to put lipstick on their products. So why do we sit here and think, oh, you know, we don't have to spice up our product. We don't have to make it sound sexier. We don't have to inject a little bit of life and a little bit of magic into our offering. Like how foolish of us to sit here and think, oh yeah, no, we don't need to do that. People should just see the value of it. No, you have to cause intrigue. You have to cause excitement. You have to make people go, what is that? But what is this thing that I've never heard of that now solves my problems? And as I said, one of the reasons that I would talk about contractor arbitrage whenever I was selling the agency offer is because I already knew the limiting belief, oh, but I don't know how to deliver the service. And that's where I preemptively got ahead of this limiting belief by talking about it in the sales process. You don't want to run away from these limiting beliefs. You want to tackle them and address them head on. And in fact, your offer should have bonuses within it. And I could go on like for hours and hours about bonuses. And someone was asking me, oh, should I sell it as a bundle? I'm like, no. Because when you sell it as a bundle, people think that they're paying for everything. So they equate the value of whatever, let's say your thing is $10,000. They see the thing and they're like, okay, I'm paying $10,000 for all of this. Whereas when you have bonuses, okay, I'm paying $10,000 for this, but wait, as more bonuses come along and more bonuses become presented to me, now all of a sudden this becomes more compelling. And then in the prospect's mind, it becomes an even more slam dunk home run offer. So ideally, as you start going through these mental models and you start realizing within your unique mechanism, there are going to be limiting beliefs that come around, okay? There's going to be things that your prospects are telling themselves like, oh, that's cool, but I can't do this for XYZ reason. Like, listen, I could give you the best VSL webinar 5-day live event challenge yada yada, all this, throw everything at you on why being a neuroscientist is the best way to get to $100 million. And like, I could convince you on all the things, but you're gonna start building limiting beliefs off the back of it. So ideally, what I do is my offer and my unique mechanism, which is being a neuroscientist, in my offer, I address those limiting beliefs, and that's part of the offer, and that's part of the bonuses. Now listen, of course, there's some people that just like, no matter what, will never become neuroscientists. I'm one of those people. So it's like, there's only so much that you can do, but it's probably one of the most profitable activities in your info business. It's just constantly put yourself on the other side of the fence and ask yourself, what is my unique mechanism? And number two, what limiting beliefs do my unique mechanism cause? And then number three, how can I build bonuses inside of my program to actually counteract those limiting beliefs? And then you have everything you need to disarm any limiting beliefs inside of the marketing and the sales process. And by the way, if I was to give you a perfect example of how we do it with monetize, okay, I knew people were gonna have the limiting belief around, okay, I don't know how to create a digital product. Okay, cool, we'll just create the software for you to do that. All right, cool, I've created my digital product, but I don't know how to get customers. Okay, cool, once again, we spend a pretty penny to license that software from a Brazilian marketing company actually. Cool, we're gonna give you Ghostwriter OS, which I said we took from this Brazilian marketing company, spent a lot of money to white label it, license it off them, and then obviously, translate it into English. But it's actually cool, Ghostwriter OS can create marketing assets in, I think we're up to like 9 languages now, which is fucking sick. But anyways, conversation for another day. But inside of the bonuses for my offer, I know that these limiting beliefs are going to come up. So I'm going to preemptively address these limiting beliefs, not only in the marketing, but also in my product offering. So truly, if you want to get past the info middle class that I call it, and I mean that in the most respectful way possible, as you can tell, truly, I love this space. If you want to get past the middle class and you want to get into the info elite, now not like the highest echelons of the info space, where you're getting to a point where you're making millions and millions of dollars a month, or even, 8 figures a month. I mean, in the last 30 days, we did 8 figures in actual profit, not even revenue. And that's a different discussion. We can have that discussion a different day. But if you're trying to get to 200 to 400K a month, and build a bit of a moat around your business, when you can own a concept, when you can own a word, whether you can own a unique mechanism, and that unique mechanism is your offer, or your offer has unique mechanisms that makes your offer totally distinct to everyone else. Like going back to Kino Body, his whole thing was like the movie star body or something like that? And that's like a unique mechanism. In a world where at the time everyone was trying to become like a bodybuilder and stuff like that, his offer stood out, it cut through the noise. And then within his offer, he had multiple layers of unique mechanisms to actually achieve that unique mechanism, which was the offer. So as I said, this just gets so many layers deep. And I apologize if I rambled a little bit too much here. But yeah, anyways, let me know what you guys thought of the video. Bye.